Hello, this is Dr. Duckham at Vino MD, and today I get to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is toast. Not the toast that we eat from the toaster, but the toast that's in oak that imparts that wonderful flavors on Chardonnay. And leading into that, it's worth talking a little bit about the inflation that we're all experiencing. Today, we're beginning to call it shrinkflation. What does that mean? Well, that's when the cereal box gets smaller and when the Valentine's candies that you have end up with the same size box but with hardly any candies inside. And in shrinkflation, I think the same thing is happening with wineries, especially as they make Chardonnay and apply their oak to their Chardonnay. So if we talk a little bit about oak and Chardonnay, we're really talking about how do you get toasty oak. So we have the inside of a barrel. This is what your wine is aged against when it's in the barrels. And all these barrels receive a lot of Bunsen burner type of treatment where you have a hot torch that goes along your barrel and toasts literally the inside of the barrel. Does for the flavors of the wine is it takes that natural sugar in a new oak barrel and it brings it out in the form of vanillin. So you get this vanilla taste in your Chardonnay that ends up being a little bit on the sweet side, even though you have no sugar whatsoever. Typically then, most of the wineries traditionally have made amount of oak that varies with 30% brand new fresh oak barrels with lots of that vanillin toast, and then 30% with 1 year aged oak barrel that comes back and gets used the next year, and then 2 years of 30% oak barrels that have been used for 2 years. So the combination of those is what is used for aging Chardonnay. Now, when I talk about shrinkflation to get it right, the same thing is happening in wineries as is happening in your cereal box. You have your same bottle of wine, but now you have the unoaked Chardonnay, which receives no oak barrels at all and is dirt cheap to produce, or you have much less new oak barrels. My example that I had this week was when I had Stone Street Upper Barn Chardonnay. This was a fantastic vineyard. It's at 1,800 feet above elevation in the Alexander Valleys, and it is terrific and has been produced by Marcassan and some of the best wineries in the country. Recently, it's been bought by Kendall Jackson, and in 2013, they applied 50% new oak to their Chardonnay. That's a lot of new oak, and that gave the 2013 this wonderful rounded flavor. The reason why you want to have that vanilla and the heavy toast is because what it does is it thickens the wine as it's in the barrels as well and produces a more viscous wine that coats the palate and gives you more flavor than you'd otherwise have. So they went from 50% new fresh oak in 2013 and gradually reduced it, and that's what I mean by shrinkflation on the oak, and ended with about 20% new oak in their wines. Now, most of the wineries will say, well, gee, that brings out the fruit of the wine, but actually it takes a lot of the skills away from the winemaker, and it takes those wonderful flavors away from the wine, and you're left with nothing but the Chardonnay. So the 2019, not nearly as good, very straight flavors from the vineyard, but nothing more was added by the winery, by the winemaker. And now I think they should go back to it, frankly, but that's just my take on it. So toast to you.